In early April of 2001, I was going through the mail on my desk and came across a flyer for a conference that was going to be held in Mount Tamalpais High School. And it was about the educational reform through sport. And I thought, wow, this maybe is something that we can use at our school to help bring the staff and students and community together. And so I made the arrangements to attend the conference. I got there a little early because I wasn't sure how long it was going to take, and Joel met me and introduced himself and had a good chat before the conference, and he invited me to stay Saturday morning and meet with a group that were a little more interested in the details of the past program. And so Saturday morning we met, and I was very, very excited as I left that meeting, thinking that the past program really could be the opportunity that we were looking for to meet all the challenges that our little school has up in the foothills of Mariposa County. And so I got home. All the way home I was thinking about this. I talked with our staff the next week, and I was excited, and they were a little curious about what I had done and what the program was. And so over the next year we worked with Joel and did some planning, and Joel invited our lead teacher and myself to meet with him in Tracy at kind of a middle location for us, driving time. And there we laid the foundation anyway for First Pass. It was my understanding that the PASS program was designed for high school students pretty much, and so we were going to take this into the elementary grades, K-8. And so we thought First Pass would be a great name for this program. And over the next 3 or 4 years, we were able to develop a fantastic program. We started off with Joel coming to visit us. Spent 5 days before school started in August of 2002, and worked with all of our staff members, our teachers, our aides, our custodians, secretary, all the adults at the school were involved in this 5-day training, and we were able to pay for them to come. We had a windfall of some Title I carryover money, which enabled us to pay everybody to come. And it was very, very well received. The staff was very excited about taking this program and developing it as we went along. And after the first couple of years, I guess it was just 1 year, we thought we needed a little bit more. And so we invited Joel to come back the following summer and had a 2-day workshop. And this workshop we called Mid-Pass because we wanted to expand it into the 7th and 8th grades. And so we now had a program that was K-8 oriented. And it worked beautifully. As we went through it, it took us 3 or 4 years to kind of get a handle on everything that we wanted to do. We realized after the second year or so that we weren't going to be able to do it all. And so we ended up narrowing down to 4 basic parts of the PASS program that I think we probably created on our own with Joel's assistance. The first part was we felt we wanted to develop a school community based on the positive aspects of sport. Sportsmanship, being a good teammate, being a good opponent when we had our sports activities. So we really focused on developing student athletes at our school that were responsible not only to themselves but to everybody, to their classmates, to the community members, to the teachers, both in and off the playing field. And so we carried this over into the classroom. And probably 2 really crucial things that I felt developed this school community or sense of school community. We started a program that we called a clap-in huddle based on, we're thinking about creating a team environment based on a Super Bowl caliber team. What are those concepts that a Super Bowl team would have to do to bring everybody together, students, staff, community, parents, and understanding that if we were going to be that successful, everyone needed to pitch in and everyone needed to be a part of this, and develop a program where we all are helping each other do better. Joel explained to us about, I'm trying to remember, positive competition, healthy competition. Whereas, in sports, competition is you defeat the other team, and when they're down, you kick them down and hope they stay down. Our concept was totally opposite of that. We wanted to build an atmosphere where I compete with you and we both work together so we both improve. And students improve, staff improves, community takes part and improves. So it was a real positive competition where we're encouraging everyone to do their best, both on the playing field and in the classroom. So starting off with this, we started off the week, Monday morning, first thing when the bell rings, with what we called a clap-in huddle. And the whole student body, teachers, even some parents that brought their children to school, met around the basketball court, and we had almost, I won't call it a ceremony, but it was pretty close. It was a huddle. And we started off with a school clap-in where I held my hands out in front of me and made sure I looked around, had all the students' attention, and the students joined me in that double clap. And then we shared what was going to be happening that week. We talked about the, we talked about the quote of the week. We had designed a quote, an athletic-oriented quote of the week. And then the students during the week would talk about that. And then on Friday, they would have a representative discuss that, what their class had talked about in front of the school. Friday afternoon, the last part of the day, 15 or 20 minutes, we had what we called the clap out huddle. And in this case, we recognized our Spirit Day winners. We recognized students that had done well or staff that had done well. We had the students speak about the quote of the week to everybody. So in essence, we began the week as an entire school community, and we ended the week as an entire school community. And so we really felt that we had a good sense of community. The second part that I really think was integral to our success was that we developed a program of aerobic exercise. Every morning when the bell rang to start the day, instead of coming to our classes, we met up on the playing field around the basketball court. And we'd set up 4 5-minute aerobic exercise stations, if you will. And so the classes went to these stations. We rotated around. We had one station was a jump roping station where we had all kinds of jump ropes, long ropes, short ropes, hula hoops, this kind of thing. The second station we called sprints, and so it was on the basketball court where we ran back and forth, forwards, and backwards. The little guys did duck walks and whatever we could think of for that 5 minutes to keep the exercise going. The third area, we went out onto the field. We had a wooden barrier around our playground, the bars area, and it was sturdy enough for the kids to step up and step down or hop up and hop down. And we also did stretching exercises there, more like exercises that a team would do to start off before their games and before their practices. And then the fourth station was long runs. We had a very large ball field, playing field, and the students would run the length of the field and back and forth. We developed different kinds of games like frisbee tag, where the kids would run and a couple people with frisbees would throw the frisbees, and if they got somebody, then they picked up the frisbee and they were in it. We developed octopus tag, where if you tagged somebody, they joined you by the hand, and you tag somebody else, and you could end up with 6 or 7 students trying to corral everybody, and as tag games. And what was really fun is the older students, the 7th and 8th graders, loved to run with the little guys. And so we developed kind of a tag kind of a game where the older students would partner up with the little guys. So they were, and then they would do the same kind of thing to try and tag other students as they were running around the field. And I think integral to that was the teachers participated in this. They did all the activities with the kids. They jumped ropes, they ran, they stretched. They did all of those things. And so it really, again, was a school-wide it was kindergarten through 8th grade, doing this every morning of the school year. Even in inclement weather. We lived in an area where we had rain and snow in the wintertime, and I'd say the K-4 students, we had located some videotapes so they would do aerobic exercise in their classrooms. And the older kids, even in the rain, would go outside. The teachers thought so strongly about making sure that we got in our aerobic time that if it's drizzling or rain, even in the snow a couple times, we would go out and do their exercises and wait. Sometimes they had to wait till the snow lessened a little bit, but they were definitely going to go out and get in their exercise, because the teachers really discovered that it helped the students, how could I say this, focus much better during the rest of the entire day. They got the antsy-pantsiness out of 7th and 8th graders, and they were able to sit, concentrate, focus, do a much better job with that aerobic exercise. We used to laugh about the happy endorphins kicking in, and the kids really enjoyed this. They enjoyed being there, and so it worked. From the principal's perspective, it really cut down on referrals. Student behavior referrals from classroom, playground to the office, because the students were feeling good about themselves. And so that was definitely a plus. And probably the final thing that we created was called EAT time, Earned Activity Time, and the kids loved the acronym of EAT time. And we set up a program where we wanted to recognize the students that behaved appropriately in class as positive reinforcement to do so. And the first couple of years, we realized that it was the same students going to study hall, and they weren't able to come out and enjoy all the fun activities that the other kids were doing. They ended up in study hall because they had misbehaved or they got a bus citation or something like that. So we said, this isn't right. We need to develop a program where everybody gets to participate. So we set up a school-wide point system. And every day we earn points for attendance, the number of students who were there, and for behavior. We lost school-wide points for inappropriate behavior. If students were sent to the office or out of class, or they got in trouble on the playground, or a bus citation, suspension, we lost points. And so it took longer to reach our goal of the number of points that we had to have before we could have our earned activity time. And what this did, it encouraged all students to help everybody else avoid getting in trouble, because that meant we would reach our goal of points sooner and we could have our EAT time sooner. So it really helped the kids that were at times difficult. Their classmates were encouraging them to knock it off. You know, we want to get to EAT time. And the Parents Club really kicked in for our EAT time. They provided free ice cream bars for every child. They made lemonade for every child. They purchased special music for kids dancing, like the Macarena and the Twist and the Limbo and the Chicken Dance and YMCA. So our custodian would set up our big PA system out on the playground underneath the breezeway open out to the field. And so I would disc jockey and we would have all this music going on. In addition, we had other activities that we didn't have available during the regular school week. We had a big 4-foot diameter ball that the kids could push and roll on and try and jump on. We had a bunch of gunny sacks that we brought out so the kids could do sack races. We had a huge tug-of-war rope, and then we'd have competitions between classes, or boys versus girls and that type of thing. And over the years, we'd collected several tricycles and little scooter things that the younger kids used. So it was a fantastic last hour of the day when we'd earned our EAT time. And then, of course, when we had one of the teachers loved to do face painting. And so by the time our hour was up, we had kids with all kinds of faces that were decorated. And then we closed, that was on a Friday, we closed with our clap out huddle, and we were finished. And I think the thing that culminated for us was that in the I want to say 6 years, 7 years of the program, it really helped us academically. We raised our API score, which was the Academic Performance Index, 212 points in that 6 years. And that improvement and the other things that we were doing led to Coulterville-Greeley School being, I should say, earning the California Distinguished School status in 2008. And that, I really think, was the culmination. When I spoke to the graduates at their graduation in 2008, I really stressed the fact what a wonderful time they had had since kindergarten through 8th grade via the PASS program and the different aspects of the program that we were able to bring into our entire school program. Great support from the community, teachers buy-in, the cafeteria staff prepared extra goodies for the kids, and so it was a wonderful, wonderful school-wide community experience.